Hey guys, Metal Viking 82 here, back with a new Viking Orations. Got another review for you today, and this time I'm going to be talking to you about the debut full-length album from the band Graveripper, entitled Seasons Dreaming Death, out now on Wise Blood Records. And if you were not familiar with Graveripper, they are a blackened thrash slash speed metal band out of Indianapolis, Indiana, been around since 2019, featuring Chris Pilotti. I still cannot figure out how to pronounce your name, dude. I am so sorry. Handling the bass, he is formerly of the band Death Ensemble. He was an ex-live member for Mountain Grave, among others. You have Keegan Ribbick on, lead guitars. Jacob Lett on the drums. He is also in Throne of Iron. He was also a former member of Thorax, among others. And finally, Corey Parks handling guitars and vocals. He is also a former member of Death Ensemble, as well as an ex-member of Mountain Grave, among others. As I said, this is their debut full-length album. It is 10 tracks, just a little over 33 minutes in length. And, having been a fan since discovering their 2020 debut EP, Complete Blinding Darkness, as well as their former incarnation, Death Ensemble, I eagerly anticipated this debut album. So when the promo hit my inbox, I could not wait to dive into this thing and see how they followed up last year's excellent Radiated Remains EP, and I was not disappointed at all with this album. Right off the bat, Chris's thick D.D. Verny-ish style bass makes its presence well known. It is just right up front, easily heard in the mix throughout the entire album, laying down that solid backbone. I have always enjoyed his bass tone and his bass playing. I think he's a really solid player. And as to be expected, the guitar work here is just top-notch, with a thrashy tone to them that's, not overly polished and has a bit of a dirtiness to them, which I really like. You get lots of fast-paced riffing, with a few more kind of mid-tempo sections and gallops at times, and just some really scorching guitar solos on here. And, once again, this band's ability to seamlessly transition between thrash and speed metal to a more black metal inspired style of riff, without sounding clunky or haphazard, is on full display here, and it never ceases to amaze me, because they'll be going through a nice thrashy bit and just on a dime switch to black metal and then right back again to the thrash. I mean, just the way they do it is just so amazing to me. And maybe that's just because I'm not a guitar player. I don't know. Maybe it's just easier than I think. Jacob's drum production is solid as always, with a great snap to the snare and a really powerful kick drum sound on here. The dude is just simply a beast, and I love listening to his playing. He really hits things with authority, and he does all these awesome patterns, rolls, and fills. And I just love his double bass work and his blast beats. It's always a pleasure to listen to him play. Vocally, Corey is as strong as ever on this album, still going for that more deathly sort of shout that's just powerful and intelligible. I think he's just gotten really better as a vocalist as time has gone on. Some of the other things that I picked out while I was listening to this, track number 1, Into the Grave. To me, this has a bit of a Cherenkov light, which came off of Radiated Remains. It has a little bit of that vibe to it occasionally, and not only just due to the music itself, but also just the way he delivers the lyrics, and you combine that with the music. There's just times when I was listening to it, it's like that has such Cherenkov light vibes to it all over it. Excuse me. Then you get into track number 2, Ripped and Torn Apart, at about, 2:08. I just love this slow, heavy riff and bass section with the cymbals just kind of doing a tss, tss type pattern. And then, it has a bit of a mayhem feel to it. That's what I was getting off of it. And then at 2:24, the drums come back in full, and it's just pure black metal feeling from there on out. And those heavy double kicks that he does at 3:05, oof. So powerful sounding. Then you get into track number 7, Resist Against the Light. There's a section at about 2 minutes and 12 seconds into the song that gives off a real Slayer vibe, in my opinion, especially as the song builds and the second guitar starts to join in. Then at about 2:30, the bass and the drums rejoin the guitars, and they settle into a nice headbangable groove. Absolutely love that part. And then finally, track number 8, Red Skies. That opening riff with the fast double bass, to me, is just pure, straight up heavy metal. The band Memorialist kind of came to mind, maybe even a little bit of Throne of Iron as well, possibly you could say, before they finally switch about 12 seconds into it to a more thrashy rhythm. But that little bit right there at the beginning is just pure heavy metal. And then towards the end of the song, there's a nice guitar solo that comes in right after a nice, very black metal sounding riff section. That again just screams pure heavy metal. Overall, I think these guys have, crafted a hell of a debut album here and proved why they're one of the best in the indie scene currently. I mean, this album is fast, aggressive, it's evil at times, yet never foregoing some, catchiness and headbangability and throwing in those headbangable grooves. And, since I've known them, having actually met Corey and Chris in person before, they've only gotten better with each release and really honed their craft and gained a lot more fans and success as time goes on. And I really look forward to hearing more releases from them. I give this a solid 9 out of 10. Go check out the new Graveripper. As I said, it is out now on Wise Blood Records. I will leave links down below so you can check it out for yourself and pick up a copy and show these guys some support. But yeah, that is going to do it. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing. And until next time, stay brutal.